What attracted me to Eclipse was that it was a great story. Also that it was a tremendous challenge. It's a big, thick book. There's a lot of epic things that happen. And I felt that this particular film had to have a really cinematic edge to it, to the choice of the lens you use, to the quality of light, to the costume. All of these things can be all over the place, or you can set up a little vocabulary. And this is what we did with Eclipse. Certain colors will become important to certain characters. Certain scenes are going to have a certain warmth to them. We're going to work with a focal length on my camera, which does not distort, so that everything feels real.
My name's Xavier. I play Riley in Eclipse. This is the opening sequence where Riley is being chased by a shadow, but we're not sure who it is.
Cinematically, we needed to develop Riley a little bit. The structure of the Twilight books, being from Bella's point of view, you can't really know anything about Riley. But obviously for a movie, we have to go other places. So we talked a lot with Stephanie.
There was a lot of confusion as to what was going on off screen. And I had some stuff written up for Riley, so we went through that, and everybody got on the same page.
We thought it would be an interesting thing if he actually came from Forks, so there was a specific reason why Victoria chose him. And to watch his transformation.
Riley comes out of a bar, out into the rain. So I've got a couple of layers, I've got a wetsuit on underneath to keep me warm. Something kind of flies past him. So he picks up his pace a little bit, and then things start to get serious. He gets thrown into a glass window. Then he kind of runs for his life.
Ready and action! And cut!
The meadow scene, to me, there's two meadow scenes in the film. They kind of bookend the story. We open in an idyllic place.
All right, here we go.
It's the only piece of sanctuary that Edward and Bella have. So we wanted to make it somewhat dreamlike, to say, well, you know, things are pretty damn perfect now.
Just marry me.
I can't yet.
This is the place where we feel safe. So that when we return to the meadow, we're in the same place, but these people have become more complicated.
Hey guys, I'm Tessa, I'm David's assistant, and currently thousands of fake flowers have been hand-planted, as you can see, to depict the scene of Edward and Bella exchanging their promises to stay together for life.
Here we go.
At this point, me and Rob laugh more in the really serious scenes and like much, much less in the scenes that's supposed to be light and funny. Those were like sort of like trying to be light and funny.
They really understand their characters. I feel like Rob and Kristen just kind of like zip on their Bella and Edward suits and kind of snap right back into it.
We have established dynamics that nobody can mess with, and that's what you hope to get to by the end of one movie.
Cut.
It's fantastic. Moving on.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Mike Welch, your friendly neighborhood Mike Newton. We are back here at this lovely high school parking lot. Once again, you see this green screen back there? There's gonna be flying monkey ninjas fighting in the back of there. The big action day.
Background and action.
Okay, so here we go. Jacob is coming in on his motorcycle, right? And he looks angry. He's got that, you know, werewolf hot flash thing going on. And Edward is there, and it looks like they're gonna fight. So I'm sitting here going, whoa, hold the phone. Are these two? That's so stupid.
That's a cut.
The kids at school are kind of just to show a real contrast between the worlds that Bella is living in.
Hey.
Just check it out.
There's a whole nother world that we have no idea about.
The humans and the Cullens have come together a little bit more. I think Bella has
bridge that gap for us.
But with Jacob, I don't think we know too much about him.
I don't think it really discusses it in the books, but if I think about a motorcycle riding, leather-clad Native American boy showing up to school, I imagine Jessica Stanley's interest would be pretty piqued. And I feel really weird saying that because I think of Taylor as a little brother, and I met him when he was 16.
Were you watching that?
We're throwing grapes into Taylor's mouth. Ready? Bring it back. Okay.
In this setup, we'll do. Okay, guys, one last go, please.
Okay, one last go.
We are actually outside of Emily's house, and we're shooting a scene where Bella and Jacob first come out.
You're sure this is a good idea?
You know, at this point, Bella still thinks we have animosity towards her, and she realizes that we're actually just open and friendly.
Hey, look who's back!
What up, Bella?
Quill, you too?
Yep. Finally made the pack.
The great thing about the Wolfpack was that they kind of make up their own jokes all the time. You'll hear them just laughing and cackling wherever you're working. And it'd be great because, you know, you would have to improvise something comedic, and you go, and I want you to, oh, hang on a sec, on the rehearsal they did it. So they're great fun to work with.
I think those boys were cast really well because they're all different, and when you put them together, they just feed off of each other.
They're hyper, like, the whole entire time. So Julia's just sitting there, like, viewing, like, do these guys ever stop? And I'm like, no, you have to find a zen place.
Yeah, I'm having a great time, and Vancouver's just an amazing city. Football in the background. I remember I got in the car one morning at like 4:30, and I was thinking on my way down to get in the car with the boys, I was like, this is gonna be great. It's so early, they're boys, they're gonna be like totally like not awake. There was like a party going on by the time I got down there. They were screaming, playing music.
We do joke around a lot, and I am considered the jokester of the group.
All right, ready, guys? Here we go.
Bronson yesterday with the chicken was just killing me.
We all had to come out of the house just finishing a meal of eating chicken.
Maybe I should call Bella, say something, and then hang up.
And I figured, I don't want to be eating chicken the whole, 20 takes, so I'll just chew on a bone. Bronson was like, no, I'll take the real chicken, I'll just take the skin off and I'll eat it.
So now he's got to keep the chicken the whole entire time.
Good. One more.
By the 20th take, he's just getting a little green, And then we just keep going.
25 pieces of cold chicken.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got sick at the end of it. Like, it's pretty embarrassing stuff,
He's a trooper. I mean, he pulled through on that one, so. Chicken, 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 yeah.
Alex somehow got chicken on his pack.
Kristen just kept laughing, and I didn't know what she was laughing at. And then, of course, she's like, you had chicken on you the whole time? And it's like, oh, and I'm trying to be Mr. Cool Guy.
Did I have it on there?
Paul's like cocky and arrogant, so yeah, I think it added to, a nice little element to it, I guess.
Lots of chicken jokes after that.
In Eclipse, we get to see just a little bit of what the Volturi's normal workday is like.
Today, we're shooting the scene where the Volturi are looking down on Riley and the newborns, wreaking havoc and kind of figuring out what they're going to do to stop this situation.
Problems with newborns are that they have this insatiable thirst for blood, coupled with the fact that they are very, very strong.
And they're starting to do things that are making humans take notice, and so it's just something that we can't allow.
They've already drawn too much attention.
So is our inaction. Others may begin to question the Volturi's effectiveness.
About them.
We know that Arrow is being watched. We know that his decisions are being watched. He has left Jane in charge.
And I think with my character and Dimitri, we really just want to get rid of it and then get back home. We don't really want to be here.
But she doesn't really care about anyone else, and we'll do whatever to get her way.
Jane wants to observe them and see what they can do, and I've just got fed up with her, and I'm basically tell her off.
Maybe we should consult with Aro.
Next thing you know, I'm not feeling so good.
Just by looking at you, she causes you pain. That seems pretty excruciating.
As I'm crippled and bent over with pain and stuck in this stunt harness, bent backwards. So I learned my lesson pretty quickly there.
Arrow's decisions are being watched. We must decide.
It's the first time you start to see cracks in their facade of benevolence.
Either we let them do what they were created for, or we end them. Decisions.
I would definitely say the most challenging situation was a scene of 3 pages of dialogue where I am carrying Kristen. We had this beautiful rig set up. She was gonna be in this little like dolly thing and I was just gonna push her.
And the idea was just to support the weight so that he could concentrate on his performance and not on having to, you know, hold somebody.
I literally went and got my rear end molded to make this day easier on Taylor. And every single time we got in it, it just didn't look as real as when he did it.
Just doesn't have the natural bounce and rhythm and swing that you would have if you were carrying somebody.
I'm like walking so fast.
Bring her back.
Come back to ones, guys.
We're like, Taylor, can you just carry Kristen for the day? And I'm like, can't be that hard. She's 110 pounds.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a few shots.
But it wasn't just for one shot. It was for every shot.
When we start going, we do the master, the wide shot. We do the 2-shot. We do Bella's singles. We do Jacob's singles. And we're shooting this scene all day.
It's a good, like, 4-page scene.
You know, take 1 and 2. You're like, this is awesome, this is easy. By the end of the day, my arms are just like shaking so bad. It was a fun day.
I swear he couldn't even sign his name the next day. His arms were just like, oh.
Well, it is 4 o'clock in the morning. We're at some sort of abandoned shipyard, and we just introduced Bree into the film.
What did you do to me?
It's where she's first waking up from being turned into a vampire, and it just completely freaks her out because she doesn't understand any of it, and she doesn't know why her throat is burning so much, and she's pretty confused.
Jodelle is so adorable. I have all boys, and she is just, it's driving me crazy. She's so cute. I just want to adopt her. It's like, oh, I want to braid your hair.
She's been in a ton of movies already at the age of like 15. I don't even know how old she is, but she's shockingly good for Bree, which is one of Stephanie's favorite characters.
Even though she's on the bad side, she doesn't really want to be bad, but she's sort of forced to be, and she doesn't understand it. She's a victim.
It's hard to know that you've cast this adorable person and she's going to get killed. This is just not nice. Poor Jodelle.
She's a wonderful young actress. We've managed to have some fun hanging out on set, you know, emerging from the water on the path to destruction.
Yeah, he's really nice, he's really cool, and he's a really good actor too.
Just about to get wet. Actually, I'm gonna do that again. That was ridiculous.
Riley's walking into the water.
I'm hooked up to some sort of wire here. Yeah, just so I don't drown.
I was thinking, oh my gosh, a lake in September in Vancouver, this is gonna be cold.
I had a wetsuit and everything on. It's kind of funny because wetsuits are supposed to make it so that you barely get wet at all. But because I have regular clothes on over top, they have to cut the collar. And so it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, it helps, but I had to dunk before every take to make sure that I looked like I had just come out of the water. So all the water went all inside my wetsuit, and I'm like, I'm still wet. But it was okay. It was better than not having a wetsuit on, so it wasn't that bad.
Hi, my name is Bronson Pelchier. Today we are in Port Coquitlam and we're filming a lovely campfire scene. As you can see, it's raining cats and dogs, or should I say cats and werewolves.
The most challenging day, I think, that we shot was what the crew referred to as Black Friday, which was a night shoot.
Going into that night, I had thought, well, this is probably going to be like an easier night. There's nothing too heavy. We're sitting around a fire and we're going to be listening to a story.
But it took a turn for the worst at a certain time, I think 12 or something like that. It just started pouring rain.
Raindrops the size of great big Californian cockroaches, huge, great big things are coming down. And rain makes the noise of sizzling sausages. If you record rain and you record sizzling sausages, they sound the same. So it's just sizzling sausages everywhere, but we have to shoot.
And action.
Shapeshifters who can transform into the powerful wolf.
Gil Birmingham is giving the performance of his career. It's wonderful, and it sounds like sizzling sausages. Oh, God, so... Not much we can do about that. We're going to have to probably come back and do what we call additional dialogue recording, ADR. We also refer to it as absolutely diabolically rubbish because we hate doing it. So you can tell it's not starting well. Okay, and it's cold. And then there's a bear somewhere. There's a bear bound by catering. Oh, let's go and see the... No, don't go and see the bear. Okay, all right, so everybody sit still, the bear will go away, everything's fine. All right, we carry on shooting. And a big bulge is appearing in this big, huge tarpaul, and we've got keeping everybody dry.
And the rain would just like seep in and capture all the rain.
And everybody had to go back and huddle up and hide out while they like emptied the tarp up over our heads so it didn't like...
What time is it?
It's 3 in the morning.
We've been here for like 10 hours.
Yeah, at least 10 hours.
I think now, looking back on it, it was a bonding experience.
In the end, yeah, we had a good time that night. I mean, David was really good about keeping us relaxed and keeping the cast together on that one.
You would never know. It was shot in the most horrific conditions.
Well, my very favorite is the tent scene. It was a situation where we get to hear what Edward and Jacob are really thinking.
The tent scene is the culmination of the rivalry and brings it into such intimate proximity.
You know, you've got Bella and Edward and Jacob in a very small space, and they can't get away from each other, and that makes it really exciting to work with.
Get your hand off me. Keep your hands off her.
It was a challenge to do the tent scene because it's an entire chapter, and you can't spend that kind of time in a film on it, and yet it has to carry the same weight.
But I think we distilled it down to like the basic points that matter most in that moment. It was so nice to let the boys talk.
Can you at least attempt to keep your thoughts to yourself?
I really get under that ice-cold skin of yours, don't I? Edward gets to read my thoughts, so he understands everything that's going on inside of my head, but I have no idea what's going inside this other dude's head. So I ask him to let me in. I'm like, look, if you can pick through my brain, then you better let me pick through yours. And he does.
Jacob can really confront Edward about his own inadequacies in a way that no one else can, and he finds it very difficult to deal with.
If you'd stayed away another 6 months, I could have made her happy.
He's hitting him with the truth.
Jacob might be a better choice for Bella than he is, and he's considering that fact, and Jacob really appreciates that.
Look, I know you can protect her. But you can give her a life, a human life. And that's all I want for her. But I'm not forcing her into anything again.
He accepts the fact that, you know, if some guy cares for her as much as he does, then he can't be all that bad. So he's really admitting that he always felt that he was a pretty good guy, and that's why he felt threatened by him in a lot of ways.
Okay, we are here at the studio, and we're playing football because we're bored. And I am attempting to chuck it over top of this black flag, whatever. I'm just gonna go over a few trailers and see if I can get it to John Ferendorf, Kristen's assistant. Ah.
And roll sound. Suspect.
Picture 112, Apple, Apple, take 3. Remark. Off speed on A, tail on D. Speed on C.
Ready, 3, 2, 1, go!
So we've been shooting up here at the mountaintop, the final fight sequence. Victoria caught onto Edward's scent and Bella's scent and chased after them and found them here, vulnerable and alone. And Riley has met her here.
Riley, listen to me.
Riley's led to believe that the Cullens need to be stopped.
She only created you and this army to avenge her true mate, James. It's the only thing she cares about, not you.
Don't let him do this to us. You know I love you.
Fortunately for Victoria, she's able to convince Riley otherwise.
You're dead.
And then the fight ensues. What Victoria didn't anticipate is that there are wolves. Riley gets taken down by Seth Wolf, and his hand is destroyed. The fight still continues, and it's really intense. One point, even Bella sees that Edward is going to be killed, and Bella sacrifices herself so that it distracts the vampires, you know, that scent of blood.
The last we see of Riley is him being dragged howling into the woods by a wolf.
Victoria!
It's not a particularly happy ending for him.
It's at that moment that Riley realizes that Victoria all along never cared for him, certainly never loved him, and was only using him in order to get to Bella and Edward.
Action! You won't get another chance like this again! And cut!
Edward kind of lures her back in with that, saying, this is your one chance, and she just goes in for the kill. And gets her head ripped off.
Cut!
I just was killed. Just had my neck, you know, bitten off by Edward Cullen. Sad day for Victoria, wonderful moment for Bryce Dallas Howard. With Robert Pattinson's lips on my neck. Anyway, I'm married.
I think one of the things that is so attractive about these stories and why they're so successful is that they postulate the idea of true love in a world where it's not very common. And to me, it's difficult to make a great story out of something as simple as pure love. Usually, great stories come from great conflicts. And what Stephanie's done so cleverly is made great conflict not at the expense of true love.
Thank you very much. That's a wrap!